Welcome to an exclusive interview. I.A.Kundan, IAS Additional Commissioner Western Suburb, in charge, courtesy India Unbound. India Unbound में मैडम आपका स्वागत है.
Thank you so much.
So we'll start some conversation with Additional Commissioner of our Western Suburb, I.A.Kundan madam. What does it feel like on being the first woman IAS from Ladakh?
Well, of course, it feels very great because I represent my district, that is Ladakh, and we have not had too many officers. But despite being a very small, in terms of population, I'm proud to say that we have got number of IAS officers from Ladakh in past so many years. So I am one of the first lady officers to have got through that. Is a matter of pride, no doubt. But what I'm emphasizing is that we do have ICE officers from Ladakh, and from 1950s onwards, we have had stalwarts in the administrative services, and it's very, encouraging and very proud moment to join the league.
Great. What efforts did it took to become an IAS officer?
Well, it took a lot of efforts because getting into the service is not very easy. You understand the huge competition that one has to go through, but because of the bureaucratic family, the background that I had, I was somehow tuned to the fact as to what I'm getting into, and also the fact that I had chosen it as a career option very young in life. It's not something that came to me suddenly, or I decided that no, I want to become this late in my student days. I was very clear that I have to follow this path because I've seen my father, I've seen other people in my family, and the challenges is in terms of handling your college studies and at the same time preparing for UPSC, which has so much of competition. And but if you are focused, if you have a vision, and if you are dedicated, then I think it's not a difficult task. You just have to be a little disciplined.
Great. Can you elaborate your journey from Delhi schooling to JNU and IAS and then Additional Commissioner Mumbai Suburban?
Well, that will include my whole life, because I came to Delhi in year 2000. I think in 1980. 1981-82, when I was in 7th standard.
Okay.
And at that point in time, my father was in a disturbed area, posted as Chief Secretary of Mizoram, where there was a lot of disturbance. So it was not very safe for the children to study there, and we were put in hostel in Delhi Public School in Delhi. And I did my schooling there, and then after I moved on to Miranda House in Delhi University. And after that, of course, for post-graduation, went to JNU. And JNU has a very, very rich culture of, intellectual exchanges, and rich culture of, thought sharing, rich culture of, debating. So it was a very good environment in which I could, gain a lot in my preparation for UPSC. Yeah, and of course, while studying, while I completed my MA and I then went to do MPhil. In fact, I completed my MPhil also, and then I got through UPSC. My first choice, of course, was Indian Administrative Service, and the cadre I got was Maharashtra cadre, and that's how I am in Maharashtra. And after my 20 years of service, today I am Additional Commissioner in Bombay Municipal Corporation.
You being the Mumbai collector started calling several people and making arrangements as soon as you heard the 26/11 Mumbai terror attack. Your husband IPS Nikhil Kaushik left you and two children home to join the police force fighting with the terrorists. And the middle of such dedication by you and your IPS husband, did it not pain when hoteliers worried about how much money they would be paid for accommodating victims under alternate accommodation? How you tackle that?
Yeah, in fact, during my whole career, I came to Mumbai in 2006, and that was, I remember, in the aftermath of that bomb blast that had taken in the train. my husband was posted as XP Amravati at that point in time, and the government at that point in time decided to have more diet officers to handle the situation in Mumbai. So many diet officers from the field were brought to to Mumbai from the districts.
Oh, okay.
So he was brought as DCP Zone 6 as the Chembur area and all that. And of course, as a wife, I followed and I opted for that time. I think my first posting that I got in Mumbai was in education department, and within 7 months I got posted as collector.
Okay.
Within 7 months I became collector of Mumbai city. We know that Mumbai has got two districts. One is Bombay Suburban, one is Mumbai city. I became the collector of Mumbai city, which has a tradition of having direct IAS officers as collector, because it's very, very prestigious, and it has got its historical value. And I don't know what to say, but yes, I was involved in 2611 to the extent that I was a collector then, and this incident happened at Taj, and it was within my jurisdiction. So the day is very vivid in my mind still, and I remember when this incident happened. My husband was that time DCP Zone 9. That would be the Bandra area, Oshiwara area. And you recall that at that point in time there was a lot of confusion as to whether it's a gang war, whether it's a terrorist attack or whatever. And finally, it was late at night, 10 at night or so, when my husband immediately after reaching, he had to go back again to handle the situation, because there was threat to JW Marriott also, which was in his jurisdiction. So he had to leave. Now my situation was as a mother and as a housewife and as an officer, and that too in charge of a district. So it was a great dilemma whether I leave my kids, go and respond to a situation where I'm needed, or what should I do, because the situation was like so tense, and situation was very alarming and risky also to take children, because the warning that we were given was that they're on the lookout for any vehicle with beacon lights will be attacked and things like that. So I remember that the intervention that I did as a collector, you won't believe that I did all the logistic arrangements sitting at home, and by 4 I was thinking in terms of rescue relief operation that I would have to do post the terrorist attack ends, and when the guests from the hotels are evacuated, where will they stay, what will they eat, where will they be accommodate them, and how to coordinate with their councils, their embassies. So all this accommodation and logistic arrangements I did sitting at home, and by 4 I had everything in place in terms of which hotels will give how much space, and rooms for these guests whom we have to evacuate, who is going to arrange food, things like that. So at that time I remember some of them asked money, which is shameful. But then there are all kinds of elements you see, all kinds of people you see in the society, and there are many who came forward with absolutely open heart and gave help, and we could do a lot. And I remember we gave a lot of attention to the forces who were day and night posted before the hotels, without food, without water. So we served them, made those arrangements. A lot of contribution from the private people also. A lot of contribution from the hotels, and some of the hotels who came forward and said, okay, these people who are going to save, and who are there out there the whole day and night. So whatever little bit of comfort we can give, we facilitated that, and we got a lot of help. And others who are there are, as I say, there are black sheeps in every this thing. That's part of it.
Great.
And mind you, during that time, my husband was in Taj for 2 or 3 days, till the last terrorist was he was taken into custody. So I was handling, my kid was so it was a multiple role that I had to play, but it was well handled, which and of course the compensation which was to be given to the victims, it was ensured that it should be expedited. All the aggrieved party or the victim's family, they got compensation on bed. They did not have to go from office to office
Here and there.
and waste your time, plead to people, and we help them in all ways, and we gave them compensation right on bed.
Great. Thus, what was your situation as a collector, as a wife, as a mother,
Hmm.
in one sentence or two sentences if you wanted to put?
Well, I have to do justice to all, and I think I managed to do that
All.
in some way by a little bit of adjustment, you know. But in single line, I would say I managed to do justice to the best of my effort to
Great.
all the roles that a woman in all working women have to, play that role. So, yeah.
What are your experiences in the past 7 months in the present posting as additional commissioner?
I joined Municipal Corporation in the month of, towards the end of May rather,
Okay.
and I think it is 6, 7 months over.
Mhm.
So, this is my third corporation. I worked in Nagpur Municipal Corporation.
Okay.
It was in 2000, I guess 2000. I worked in Nagpur Municipal Corporation along with Mr. Chandrasekhar. I was his additional commissioner, and we had done a lot of work on IDP roads, and we had done, and that was the time when I got a grounding on urban local bodies.
Okay. Okay.
And after that, I was the municipal commissioner of Amravati, and there, as a municipal commissioner, the huge amount of the scope that you have of molding a city, of contributing to your city, and giving some kind of higher standard of services to the people is so enormous that I think if one has intention, then there's nothing stopping you from improving the system. Whether your corporation is a small corporation, A, B, C, D corporation, or whatever you say, but if you have an intention, even with limited budget, I say that you can make a difference in your city. And that is what I worked in A grade, B grade. This is my A grade municipal corporation. I worked in B grade municipal corporation. But if there's a willingness, and if you work in tandem with also the local corporators, because they give a lot of feedback to you, they understand, what are the grievances of the people, what are the needs. So if there's a regular open dialogue, transparency, I think you can contribute a lot. And it is irrelevant whether your budget is small. It makes a difference, yes, but you can still contribute. And I had a wonderful experience.
Great. What are your experiences during your postings as a mission director, family health?
I think that is Mission Director of National Health Mission. National Health Mission is basically, I think it is one of the most beautiful posting because it is so focused in its approach, and it was like initiated. Basically, the initial emphasis was on RCH, on reducing maternal mortality, reducing infant mortality, and such and such forth. So it has then grown over a period of time, but the support that it's a totally Government of India led scheme. So it is a very satisfying because our basic role of NHM is to support the state system, in terms of manpower. If in the hospitals you do not have manpower, then we were the supporting agencies. And secondly, in terms of infrastructure, if the state government cannot include in the budget or there is some problems, so we help them in filling up those gaps. So it was very satisfying, and I would say it's a lovely posting, lovely
Okay.
posting.
Okay. Do you miss the beauty of Ladakh ever since you resided in Delhi and now in Mumbai?
See, a Ladakhi, whether in Bombay or Delhi, is always a Ladakhi because we are very deep rooted. Our association with the society is very deep rooted. Small community that you just their roots
Definitely,
remain
absolutely.
intact here. So I do miss, but just like any other place, even Ladakh is changing. Leh is changing, rather I would say. That in my past few visits in Leh, I'm seeing there's a lot of pollution coming up, a lot of illegal structures coming up. and the pristine beauty which I used to see as a child, I unfortunately feel that that is coming down. I hope the administration there takes notice of it, and there is better city management and better bylaws which they frame to ensure that that beauty does not
Beauty.
go. But nevertheless,
Nature and beauty.
yeah, nevertheless, it's a very lovely place, and I do visit every year with my family. Yeah.
Great. What are your memories of the 1996 IAS batch? Do you batchmates keep in touch? How?
See, if you talk about batchmates of Maharashtra, we are 9 of us
Hmm.
in Maharashtra.
Okay.
One of them has, I think, he's left the job, so we are 8 of us, and we are very close. So obviously, as batchmates, it's like you're, closest
You
in the
wanted to
fraternity.
quote the name of your batchmates in Maharashtra cadre?
Maharashtra Kadur, Sanjay Mukherjee, my colleague here in Municipal Corporation, you interviewed last time, he is my batchmate.
Okay.
Then Parag Jain is there, then
Wow, Parag
Sandeep
Jain.
Jaiswal, who's Thane Municipal Commissioner, he is there, Vinita Vaid is there,
I see.
and Chokalingam is like Division Commissioner, he is also here. And
His
Mr.
interview.
Rupinder, who's gone on Government of India,
Okay.
yeah, Deputation, Sanjay Khandare, and MMRDA.
Ah,
And I think I've named all. So we are here. And there was Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, who I think went to World Bank. So we are close, and as a batch also we do have interactions very frequently.
great. What are your plans to improve markets, especially the Borivali and Malad market area? Have
Uh,
you visited?
Uh,
Sometimes aware.
Nee, Borivali and Borivali
Malad-
and Malad market
PMC
area.
market.
We are intending to study the requirements of that area first, number one. And number two, after that, since market is a portfolio which has been given to me, so there are a number of markets which we have taken up for development in the 17-18 budgetary provision. So these will be included there.
Okay.
No.
What are your expectations from Mumbaikars as additional municipal commissioner?
Um, as additional municipal commissioner, what we'll say is that I think there is a responsibility of municipal corporation to do its role assigned to them to its optimum best. But at the same time, I would say that even the citizens, the people of Mumbai, they also have their role to play. Now, MCGM is moving towards declaration of ODF free, that is open defecation free Mumbai by the end of this month, and our municipal commissioner is working very hard and pushing the issue because we would like our Mumbai to be totally open defecation free. Now these, or whether it is cleanliness, or whether it is hygiene, or lack of littering, or these things, we need cooperation of public. We are there to do it, but we need cooperation of public. And if we can declare, because this is a financial capital, people from all over the world, all over the state, they do come and see, and it gives a very, very, unimpressive picture when you see these kind of incidences, this dumps, and garbages overflowing from, the garbage
Slums.
bins. But let's say the responsibility is two ways. We have our bit of responsibility, we lack in some certain things. Probably, I won't say that totally we are doing a perfect job, but our effort is to do it and we are moving towards it. Very often we review at the highest level, at the commissioner's level itself, to ensure how we can make good roads. Now, in this monsoon, you must have seen that the pothole management, the waterlogging that used to happen was so much less as compared to the previous years. Now, how has that happened? Because the advanced planning happened much, much ahead before the monsoon came. But obviously, administration is highlighted less. And if supposing there are certain negative aspects that is more, brought to it towards a, towards
TRP
a,
of the sum.
yeah. So whatever the reason might be, the fact is that the administration is absolutely committed is number one committed commitment of the administration in MCGM, and we feel that though the intention of having a clean Mumbai city with no open defecation, we have installed thousands of toilets here, and we have identified toilet spots where people can go and access it. There's no need to, you know, have open defecation. Plus, with regard to garbage dumping, we have streamlined it, and we are regularly following on proper management of roads so that there's no issue during the monsoon. So, having said that, I would say that this effort, if it is, there is a somehow some response from the citizen in a positive way, then we can take Mumbai ahead together.
Methi River is in, I think, in your jurisdictions.
Partly, it covers through many jurisdictions, but larger portion happens to be there. Yeah.
So there is beautification is also can be
Yes.
done.
Yes.
with
Yes.
certain
Number of
projects.
beautification. If you see a lot of these islands, lot of places which are the medians, you will see a lot of beautifications happening. You will see that any open space whichever is there, we are doing beautifications, and we are trying to use up as much space to make Mumbai look clean and beautiful. In terms of tree plantation, beautification, and so if effort is made by the public also, till today I see, and it boils my blood to see when people litter. You know, when people litter on the road, they do not understand how much of manpower we have to employ to ensure that our roads are clean. And then they litter. They do not understand the damage that is being caused to the environment. So this kind of understanding should be there with the public. Everything cannot be responsibility of just the administration, and you can say you can do everything. So that awareness, responsibility should be there. Plus, we also have to do our job with full responsibility, no doubt about it.
Right. What is your role in Andheri's Silp Gram?
Well, it's a project which has been handed over to me,
Okay.
and it's a shipgram, which is a nice concept. I think it was started much before I joined, so I have taken few reviews about it, and I think by January, I think we'll be able to launch it. It will be something like a huge area. I think there's a huge area where there'll be all those artisans. You'll have small sheds for the artisans who can display their products, and of course there will be some other entertainment facility given there.
Okay.
And this project is almost 80% done, 80 to 90% done.
I
Some
see.
some kind of now. I think
Final
the gardening part and the landscaping part, I think that is pending. But we are quite hopeful that by January or February we'll be able to inaugurate it, and which will be nice for people in the Jogeshwari and those part of a nice place for them to visit.
For the western suburb people.
Yes.
After completing your MPhil in International Relations, what was the reason that you chose IAS over IFS?
IAS has always chosen. It's always a first preference for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. You would like to serve in your own country. See, IAS is one job. The type of challenges and the enormous scope of variety of work that you can avail in or get in IAS is incomparable. It's incomparable. One day I can be in fisheries, the next day I can be in a corporation, third day I would be in, say, health department, fourth day in industries. So the gamut of experience that a person gets, I think is incomparable. There's no other job in the world which gives you as much of, exposure and 360-degree exposure in all aspects of governance as much as you get in IAS. And plus the leveling that we get when we are working in the rural area. We spend much of our time in the rural areas. We join as sub-divisional magistrate, we go to some Zilla Parishad, and we work there as CEO of a Zilla Parishad. So the grounding that you get in the rural area, so that's an exposure which I wonder how many services are privileged to get that kind of exposure which we get, and no doubt it is one of the best services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your father, A.Kundan, was an IAS. Was he an inspiration to you?
Oh, definitely.
In what manner?
What manner?
And you
Because
have in your family, I think, more than 4 5 IAS.
no, no,
How you
not
feel
really.
it?
My father was an IAS officer. He was actually in the Air Force before,
Okay.
and then later on there was something like Frontier Administrative Service. Then after that taken over in IAS. So he was IAS officer, and he was a huge inspiration. I mean, he was. I mean, there are other IAS officers from my family. My father was only IAS officer. My husband
Okay.
is an IPS, and I am Indian. So we are a family of bureaucrat, IAS, IPS, and but he was a huge inspiration. But I would say the period in which he worked and the period in which we are working is very, very different. Times have changed, situation, expectation,
Correct.
and everything has changed. I have seen him working, and I could relate to what he was working. So he was a huge inspiration. Yeah.
Okay. Whom do you consider as your role model?
A role model, as in from the family or from.
Any preferences? Whom you feel?
My role model, I had so many role models.
Huh?
Like,
Whom you inspired
hmm?
much? Whom you inspired much?
Inspired. I would say I was inspired by my father, and I would say in my family, I would say right now my husband is a major inspiration for me because we are almost in the same service. And presently in my job, my role model is my municipal commissioner Sajay Mehta because he has got such clarity in his thought, and I mean
Okay.
amazing leader he is.
Okay. What do you do in your leisure time if you all get some? Do you find some leisure time?
Yeah, obviously you have to take out time for leisure because you have children and you can't just all the time being. I'm very
What?
clear about that. I'm very clear about that. My working time is my working time, and
Okay.
after that I'm totally with family. I switch off that
Moment.
part of mine, and then I move on. And best way is to be with children and family
Okay.
and enjoy with them. That is what I enjoy
Any
most.
sport you like? Which sport you like?
See,
How you making fit, yourself fit and healthy?
uh, uh, that is regular walk,
Okay. You
and
do
I
regular.
used to do horse riding.
Huh?
But of course, at this age, I cannot, and I wouldn't want to risk it. But as a child, in school, I used to play basketball.
Okay.
But now these things are left behind, so I now go with simple walking and simple gymming whenever I get time. And that is, yeah.
Good to you. What suggestions, advice you would like to give to new students who aspire to become an IPS or IAS?
Well, they should first understand what they are in for. Times have changed. Now, there are certain perceptions that ICE means, this, that you get a lot of facilities, you have a lot of perks, you have got a lot of, um, you know, powers and things like that. But situations and times have changed. And I would say that they have to take into account those factors, but they should be very, very, very conscious and very aware of the fact that it involves a lot of hard work, tremendous amount of hard work. There is literally no concept of leave. It's like 24 by 7 work. Also, it depends on which portfolio,
Assignments.
which assignment you are in. But for us, for example, we cannot think of if suppose somebody joins an IPS, I'm sure he'll miss all the festive occasion because he'll be on duty that day. So this job requires that much of sacrifice. You know, you given a cadre which is not your home state, so you have to be away from the family, and job itself is so huge, and the scope is so huge. It is interesting, and it exposes you to so many aspects of governance and administration, but it consumes so much of your time. So they have to be very much aware that this is what they're in for, and if they think that yes, this is what I want, then I would say this is one of the best services which I must personally would want my kids to try for it. And what more can I say?
What suggestions you would like to give to your colleagues, your department or the municipality comes under your jurisdiction?
What
From
suggestion
the
is?
India Unbound, what suggestion and advice how to deal with the citizen and people of the Mumbaikars?
Well, to your own department, of course, one would always highlight that there should be discipline, transparency, and the grievances of common people should be redressed, and we should not be immune to their problems. And every problem has a solution, so one has to proactively ensure that one is, being sensitive to their, whatever situation, and you should be in tune with ground realities, because ultimately you are here to serve the common people. At the same time, common people should understand there is we would like to do things right way, but uh, it does not happen, you know in a short time. It takes time. So there has to be a positive, and there has to be some kind of very proactive collaboration between both, and some kind of an understanding as to what is your limitation and what's my limitation, and all my department should be sensitive to that. And we are moving towards total online, this thing, scenario. Anything that NOC, whether it's an NOC for education, NOC for whatever, we would like to eliminate any kind of human interventions, because I think ultimately I believe that end of the day, if you want to remove corruption, then the only way is to, strengthen the technology and make it transparent. This is what I believe.
What message you would like to give to our readers, Indian or readers?
Mhm.
What message you would like to give? By
Well,
India?
I don't know who reads India Bound. If they
No.
are the aspirants, then I would say that reading this magazine would give you a little input from, all kind, because your magazine carries input from police, from other services, from my services. So they would be able to get some insight into, how people who are already in the service, what they're thinking and how it is. But those who will be now, the readers will be the children who would be now aspiring for civil services. Times have changed. Now it's been 20 years since I gave exam. I don't know what the present system is. But the only thing I'll say that if you are an aspirant, then you have to start your preparation for civil services so much in advance. You have to start immediately after you, do your graduation, or maybe prior to that during your graduation itself, because looking at the competition, you cannot take it lightly, and it is highly competitive, and so it needs discipline and early start.
Thank you very much.
Thank
It's
you so
pleasure
much.
meet
Thank you so
to
much.
I.A.Kundan madam. God bless you
Thank
and
you.
in your future arena.
Mhm.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.